This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Potsy and Tino on the Potsy and Tino Show.
It's the Potsy and Tino Show. Drop the facts and let opinions blow. Laughs, hot takes, and maybe a rant. Two best buds with a mic and a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak. That's right, the Potsy and Tino Show. Tino, as always, you know, we always like to give Adam's House Cat a nice little shout out for giving us the wrestling song for about 415 of those 400 and now 25 episodes of our show.
I was about to say, I don't know how long we've had that new music, but I'm still getting used to it. And then after, when it starts up, I'm like, that shit's catchy. I like start bobbing my head.
So anyways, we always start the show off with a little segment called "What's Up with You." So, my friend, what is going on with you?
Nothing really. Just I'm driving myself crazy. I told you, and it's been about a year. It's been over a year. I've been thinking about kicking it around, and I've mentioned to you a couple of times. Like I'm tired of Apple. I'm tired of the iPhone. I'm tired of it not changing. So I want to, I'm thinking about moving over to Android, but then I'm like, everything I own is Apple. I got the watch and the MacBook, but
yeah, you change one thing, you got to change everything.
Yeah, but I've done research. I found everything. I've already transferred like my pictures over to Google Pictures. A lot of my stuff I've already transferred. But the only thing is like it'd probably be FaceTime. I've already downloaded WhatsApp, and I can do WhatsApp, or I can FaceTime through Facebook Messenger. So I'm like, is the only thing is the operating system. That would be the thing I need to get used to.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, Tino grabbed my phone and started playing around with it just randomly.
I'm just trying to check it out.
It hadn't locked back up with the screen turn off or whatever, so he just grabbed it and started messing around. I was like, he's gonna find porn. I was just thinking about it, and I didn't even mention this to you, but our friends the Sjogrens, Fubar and his family. He just ordered his he ordered the Google Pixel phone, and one of the neat things that their watch actually allows you to do is it can be also attached to your phone number. So even and it has its own depending on which one you go with. If you go with the high end one, it's got its own cellular signal, so you don't even have to have your phone near you, so your iPhone, your iPhone still needs to be close to you though. In your house.
Okay. So if he's not near it, it'll still do it?
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool.
So that was a neat function, a neat feature that I saw on his phone and his phone plan for that. Sorry, I was just trying to look up the WrestleMania 42 ticket prices that have been released, which we'll get to because it's something.
Yeah.
So
I think I narrowed it down though. I was thinking about I was looking at your phone because you have the Motorola, and I said if I switch, I'm gonna get a flip. I'm gonna get what I want, but the Razr is it's expensive, and it doesn't have the security and the regular updates for 3 years. Samsung, they're promising for 7 years. You know what I mean? So
So you must have been doing some really interesting research because I don't typically look at what the security levels are on my phone.
It's just not security, like the security patches, and not only security patches but updates as well.
Oh well, so Motorola doesn't have to do that because it's the Android operating system. So the Android operating system does all those. So your security patches and your updates and if you're saying they only do it for 3 years, that might be true. But I mean, I don't know, every Motorola phone I've ever had. Well, I'm not going to say every phone I've ever had. When I was with Verizon, and my phone is still with Verizon, but I've got actually no, the one I've got now is an actual Verizon version of it. It's not an unlocked one because I bought it at Walmart for $150. You know, it updates like it is on the newest version of Google, whereas my unlocked one, which was a better quality phone, you know, more expensive and all that bullshit, was like two versions old. So,
Yeah, and then the Samsung, because I was looking at the Galaxy, the Z Fold. They or just Samsung. I think they're offering like for 7 years they'll do it. So I don't know. I'll probably buy one unlocked, and then so I can keep just in case.
well, I mean, you've seen my living room, and you've seen I've got two other phones just sitting in the living room.
Yeah.
Both of which can do everything I need them to except make phone calls because they're only hooked up to my Wi-Fi signal right now. But you know, I was thinking about that, and we got some commenters in the audience. We got Michael Turner out there. What's going on? I was thinking about that, and remember how I said like to use the ESPN app, it was easier to actually use my phone and cast it to it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna do that with one of the older phones. You know, that way it just works like a remote control. So
that's what's going on. That's pretty much that's what's been going on with me. I'm probably am going to pull the trigger. I just don't know when yet.
So I had to be up early today because, you know, right now looking for a day job. I had to get up early today, and you know, it's just so everybody knows. Tino and I hung out on Saturday. We actually watched some of All Out, and we watched all of Wrestlepalooza. But so today I had to get up because I had been summoned for jury duty.
Oh no.
And so I called the number yesterday. I called it before 5:30 because, you know, it says call after 5:30 to see if you're actually still needed. Called after 5:30, said I was still, or called before 5:30, said I was still needed. So I was like, maybe they just haven't updated it yet. Let me call it after 5:30 and see if it. And of course, nope, I had to be there. So I go for jury duty today, and like for the entire morning, my stomach was all bubble guts and it wasn't because I was I wasn't having an anxiety attack or anything. My stomach just was like, I think I had a bug this morning. So I had to keep getting up to use the bathroom. And one of the funniest parts about it was that, you know, like, have you ever had to go in for the jury duty stuff?
I've had to go in, and I got a little room, and I got stayed there all day, but still got dismissed. So I never got to go.
So I'll get to that part. But they make you watch like two videos, and then the woman was like entertaining us for like so it was 10:30 before anything was going on.
What house were you at?
What's that? It was in Durham. It was.
Yeah, I was in Wake County. We didn't watch no damn videos.
Yeah, there were two videos. One of them was trying to make sure that we weren't biased and that we were actually trying to just keep the facts in mind if we got called in, right? And I figured that'd be the easiest way to get thrown off the jury is by sitting there saying everything makes me biased. Like I'm just biased about everything, you know. You say it's left, I say it's right. That's just the way it is, you know. So I wanted to sit there and, you know, like have that moment, but it didn't happen. They didn't call anybody into the jury room. Nobody. All of us sat there until about I want to say it was about 3:05. Okay, and they even sent us to lunch early, and they were like, okay, normally we give you an hour and a half for lunch. We're gonna send you, instead of from 1 to 2:30, we're gonna send you from 12:30 to 2:30. So you're going for a 2-hour lunch, and then when you come back, we'll tell you whether or not we need you. And it's like, make us fucking come back, you know, like this bullshit kind of stuff. So we get back at 2:30, and at 3:00, a judge walks into the you know, the summons room, and she's like, y'all get to go home. We're not going to get anything decided today. So you have fulfilled your 2-year obligation. So I didn't have to stay the whole day. I got an extra half an hour for lunch. I went down to, because it was the Durham courthouse, it's like right across the street from the Durham Bulls ballpark. So I literally went across the street to Tobacco Road, had a burger, came back. My stomach was finally settling down, and they sent us home. And I was like, what a waste of my time.
Yeah.
But I get paid for it. Apparently you make like $12 doing it or some shit. So I thought that was pretty funny. But I did something else today, Tino, and I'm pretty excited, but also a little worried. And that's, I sent you a text message about it earlier, and that's that I signed up because now fiber internet is finally coming to my neighborhood, right? But it's not Google, it's not AT&T, it's Frontier.
I never heard of them.
So I
heard of Frontier Airline, but not Frontier.
Well, and it's kind of like that when you actually like take it all into account, because it's cheaper and it's supposed to offer the same type of services. But like when you start nickel and diamond through Frontier Airlines, it's like before you know it, you got like all this other shit going on. But they offer 1 gigabyte internet access plus a $100 Visa gift card for signing up, and they say it's zero installation. So I'm hoping what it means is, because the junction box for the fiber is literally right next to my house. You've probably seen it when you walk in. It like there's a dirt area now that used to have grass. That's a dirt area, and it's got like it kind of looks like an electric junction box, So, but it's underground, so you just see the top of it. Anyways, so next Monday, from 1 to 5, there's supposed to be an installation guy installing this. And before that, now they haven't told me when to expect this other person, but there's supposed to be another like third-party person that's actually going to install the line from the junction box to my house. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if you remember when I first moved into my house, but there were no cable access lines going to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So Spectrum had to drill a hole through the wall of my house to put a cable line in. Do you remember that?
So couldn't they follow that line?
So that's what I'm hoping. And that's what like hopefully I'll be at the house when the guy who's like the third party person installing the line is there, because I'm going to be like, yeah, just install it right here where this other line is. The other weird thing is that, like I just upgraded my router and everything so that I'd actually get my full internet speeds and everything else. I just upgraded that like earlier this year. So now like they are saying that they're going to give me like an Amazon AEERO or something. So their own version of a router. And what I'm thinking is that it's also the modem and the router, because when I cancel, yeah, like an Eero.
I had that. You put the main router. It's cool because you get the main router in the living room, right? And then they give you can have little like extenders. Like I got one in my office right here, so it'll extend it. So they offer that, but that's one of those nickel and dime things. Oh, they didn't give it to you for free.
I already have extenders. Like they're not that brand, but like
tell them no.
They should work.
Tell them no.
Well, I've already because everything I did online. It was okay. This is what I'm ordering. This is what I want. This is like I don't want any of that other bullshit. Because what'll probably happen is as long as the Eero or Air, I guess it's Aero.
Is it EERO? Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
I think it's AEEERO or some shit. So it's Aero, but it's like Eero, whatever. So I'm wondering if that's also the modem, because if it's the modem and the router, then I don't need my almost brand new Netgear.
Sell it.
Might have to, but I mean, it was a $300 unit. So yeah, because I wanted the one that does like that's future proofed, and I bought one that actually goes up to 2 gig. So I knew that when I was going to get fiber, I was either going to do the 500 or the gig, and it was it was like $10 more to get the gig. So I was like, yeah, I'll just do that one. So anyway, next week, before the show, I'll have someone over at the house, and I'll be bullshitting with him while he's trying to install my new fiber internet, and then hopefully Tuesday of next week, I get to go ahead and cancel Spectrum completely. So I like I said, kind of excited about it, kind of worried because it's like I want Google Fiber and they're not offering me that. They offer it 3 miles down the road, but they don't offer it here.
I have Google. I love Google Fiber.
I'm wondering well, yeah, but even that though, Google Fiber is $70 a month for the same thing. So I mean, if I really do get the speeds and everything that I'm supposed to, I don't give a fuck. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm like I said, pretty excited about that because it also means that if I cancel Spectrum entirely, I'll basically be positive $60 a month on that.
Cool.
So yep. All right, TV watching, man. What have you been watching this week?
I told you, obviously still been watching Peacemaker. Finished up Wednesday, and I told you, I was like, for shits and giggles, I was looking for something just one day. I just wanted something stupid and like to have on, and you can watch. You're not really watching while I was doing something, and I came across Futurama, and shit's hilarious. It's only like 20 minutes, and like I said, before I know it, I'm like already halfway through the second season now, so enjoying that. Went back and watched Suicides. Wait, which one was the newest one? I know it's
the Suicide Squad,
and then there's Suicide. Is it the Suicide Squad?
It was the second one.
Yeah, I went back and just watched that, and it was, and then because it's like, oh, it kind of goes into the Peacemaker TV series, and
yep.
I've forgotten that like Harcourt and all the guys from the show were in that movie, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah, Economos and yeah.
It was cool.
So Gen V started this week.
Oh,
season 2, continuing the boys stuff that they've got going on there. It starts kind of slow, but when it, just like everything else when it comes to the boys, when it hits the fan, it really hits the fan. So there's like a good moment in each episode because they drop 3 right at the start, like Amazon typically does. So that was kind of cool. So I've been watching that. I am caught up on Peacemaker. Now I wanted to ask you something about Peacemaker and see if you actually had noticed this. When he goes into the other universe, have we talked about like how white that universe is?
Mm-mm. But you can tell the difference, and you can tell the difference too. And I was going to ask you, was it just me? Because it does seem like when he's in his, I don't want to say it's like darker, but it does like. It's like
I wasn't talking about this, the like visual color. I'm talking about the people.
Oh, that too. And Matthew has it there. I think he was saying that I think my son, because he's into this, he's saying that Gunn was saying there's an alternate universe where there's pretty much no diversity. And so I'm wondering if he's starting to put it in there.
Well, and that's what I was wondering about, like what you thought there, because if you notice in that other world, his brother and his dad are like revered. They're looked at as the hero trio or whatever, the top trio or whatever they call them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no black people, no Mexicans, there's nothing. So him being I was going to say Red Guardian, but I know that's David Harbour's character.
Yeah, I know
from Thunderbolts. But like it makes really weird, awkward sense that when they go to that world, there doesn't seem to be any diversity, and that's why they're all looked at as heroes.
And like I said, Matthew's been mentioning that because he's researching the shit out of it. But he was thought it was for another thing. He said, but James Gunn was talking, and he might have been talking about Peacemaker. So wow.
Well, because now Adebayo is gonna follow him into that universe, and she's his best friend.
That was funny because Matthew and I were talking because we went to eat yesterday, and we were telling Nicole about Peacemaker, and we were like, yeah, how his dad was, white supremacist and all that stuff, and he brought up and all that. I'm like, yeah, now his best friend is a Black female lesbian. So, Nicole's like, oh, he went for the Holy Grail on that one. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you watch the behind the scenes stuff that they tend to shoot afterwards. But watching what's his face? Probably the most famous actor actually on the show, the guy with bird blindness.
Tim Meadows. He's from
Tim Night Live. Saturday Night Live, the Goldbergs.
The Love Doctors, and take your lover by the hand and do it in the butt. That's my favorite line in that movie.
Ladies, if you are single and attractive, meet me at the snack cart.
If you are 355 pounds. He cracks me up.
Mr. Helios, I want to go ahead and say, if you want to come pick me up, I'm more than happy to go to that place tonight. But otherwise, I am probably staying home.
That's right. They are in tonight, huh?
Oh yeah. WWE is in Raleigh, North Carolina tonight. Them $800 tickets. So
that's why we are sitting here with you all.
Absolutely. So part of the good thing about signing up for that WWE, ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus package, Tino, is that I also now get to watch Hulu shows that I was missing, like The Bear season 4, which I now have 7 minutes left of the season because I ran out of time before this episode of our show. Because I normally take about 10 to 15 minutes to set up the show and everything else. So I tried to set it perfectly so that I could watch. I had 3 episodes left. I wanted to watch all of it. I got the 7 minutes left, and I had to stop so I could come up here and do this. The show's listed as a comedy, but it is not funny. And so it's all about the service industry, but it's about like a guy who is one of the top chefs in the world wanting to start his own restaurant in the name of his brother who passed away, took his own life actually. And so, but I mean, it is one of the shows that has won like the most Emmys ever, so like, and it's on season 4 now. And the cool thing about that one with Hulu is that they do just drop all of it at once. So when it comes out, it's like, okay, now I get to watch this. But then, and I haven't started watching it yet, but I'm a sci-fi guy, and Alien Earth is on Hulu, so it's gonna be time to sit there and watch some xenomorphs fuck some shit up.
Oh god!
And I have heard nothing but excellent things about this show, so I can't wait. And one of the nice things about it, though, is that because I was waiting on this WWE thing with Hulu, because the ESPN, Hulu, Disney Plus package, I hadn't signed up for Hulu again yet. So I was like, so now I'm going to get to watch like all of it instead of going week to week watching every episode like I did with like The Old Man. So anyways, that's what I got in terms of that stuff. Let's get to the bad news.
And Annabelle, is that from last week?
What's that? Oh, I watched. Yeah, we talked about all that last week.
Oh, okay. It's just still on there. I was like,
oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't update the little blurb. But let's go ahead and start by talking about the negative news that just hit. So the premium packages for WWE WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 tickets got announced today, even though they don't launch until Wednesday for the pre-sale, and then I think Friday for the actual go sale date. So Ticketmaster is saying that you'll be able to find 2-day combo passes starting at around $700.
My ass.
Now, that's interesting because SeatGeek says that they'll have tickets priced as low as $368, which for WrestleMania doesn't sound terrible. right? However, the price breakdown, this is ridiculous. So we'll start with the nosebleeds, okay? 400 level, $854 per ticket.
That's nosebleed.
Yep. The 300 level, $1,175 per ticket. The 200 level. So this is your club level and you know, like, I guess maybe even like the boxed areas where you have to buy like an entire set of them from time to time. $1,175 to $1,303. You're still in the bleachers. The 100 level, still in the bleachers, at $1,175 to $1,495. Now you ready for floor seats?
That's where your best friend Green Shirt will be. He was cussing Green Shirt.
That
He
motherfucker.
was cussing Green Shirt on Saturday, and I was like, you don't even know him. Yeah, fuck you, Green Shirt guy. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Do we know him better than we know some people that we actually know?
That is hilarious.
Because they've actually done enough shit about Green Shirt guy. Floor seat section B. So this isn't the close floor seats. This is the floor seats where you have to look staring up at the screen because otherwise you're not going to see shit, right? $3,868 a ticket.
At that point, you might as well stay home. You're looking at a screen anyway.
Now, floor seats section A.
Green Shirt.
Green Shirt's going to be fucking front row. Dude, last year for WrestleMania, he was right behind the commentators. He probably sold them the real estate to put that seat there.
Shut up. Give me what's section A, bitch.
$8,998 a ticket.
They're selling these to rich people and celebrities. There's no everyday people can afford that shit.
You know what's really fucked up about it? Is that they don't even sell all of those front row seats because they end up putting people in the audience to show them and then push them to the back. You think Stephanie McMahon was sitting front row at Wrestlepalooza the entire night? No. She was there for that special moment that they set up for her. Like they literally like section off. So anytime they show like Tiffany Stratton in the audience, that is an unpaid for seat. Remember, Bret Hart got mad that they didn't have a seat for him, but they had one for Kevin Nash who wasn't even there.
So when they have all the celebrities there, are they giving? Is that the same thing, or those celebrities actually bought those?
So I would assume that they have a VIP special package where they're actually in the back in the green room talking with the wrestlers and everything else when they're celebs. But no, I would assume that most times that you see like a Tyrese Halliburton or whatever, he probably is buying his ticket or they're giving him the ticket. But either way, it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it is literally the cost of a used car to sit in section A at WrestleMania. I'm going to say this right now. Those floor seats section A, I can almost pay an entire year off my house.
Damn.
How fucked up is that?
We saw a sign in the audience at Wrestlepalooza said, "I sold my house." Remember that?
We saw that one, but there was one at the post show directly behind Big E's head, and it's now if people are part of our Facebook wrestling group, it is now the cover for it, and it is awesome.
What does it say?
It says something like it's got a picture of the TKO logo, and it says all TKO cares about or whatever. You know what? I'll actually pull it up on this real quick. I don't think I can show it to the group. I don't think I can show it to everybody on the air with us right now, but I don't even see where I can go to that. So okay, I can't see it right now. But
Okay.
it basically showed one of those little graphs that they used to always show you in cartoons about like getting your profits up type thing.
Yeah.
And it was like one that just shot up the entire rest of the poster, and it said how they were doing it. It was like ticket prices, ESPN package, this thing. It was pretty damn well thought out and planned. And the fact that it made it onto the post show was pretty funny. Michael Turner says Bret Hart wants money from Goldberg. So Michael, I saw a great meme today. It said, "How bitter do you want your coffee?" And it had a picture of Bret Hart, and it said, "This bitter."
That's wrong. That's wrong.
That one made me laugh pretty good. I thought that was pretty fucking funny. In other TV news, I want to go ahead and throw this one back up. Tino, you and I were talking about this WWE with ESPN package stuff, and you mentioned that last week something happened, or maybe almost 2 weeks ago now, something happened that was causing a lot of Disney Plus and Hulu subscribers to cancel. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I know what it was because
And we don't normally talk politics, so we're not going to talk the politics side on here.
It's Disney, which owns, I guess, ABC and everything. Jimmy Kimmel got fired, and everybody knows
Suspended.
No, he got fired. That's
Suspended.
why.
Suspended.
Now it's suspended because they're losing money. It was fired a couple weeks ago.
Well,
I can show you when it first happened. He was fired.
Okay, everything I had read, so I may be wrong here. Everything I read said that they indefinitely suspended his show, and they were even talking about they were going to put up a memorial for the gentleman that got shot in his time slot. Instead, though, they showed Family Feud reruns. Just so you know.
All right. Anyway, he got fired, and then when everybody stopped by, because I was looking at something else today too. So not only did people cancel Disney Plus subscriptions, fucking Disney is feeling it because people are selling timeshares. They're selling all this other shit. And like, oh, so Disney is losing money.
So, interesting thing here. Tomorrow, the Jimmy Kimmel Show is back on ABC. Don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah, I know they're back because they're fucking trying to get they piss people off.
But apparently there's another reason why this is happening, and they're okay with putting Jimmy back on TV. And it has nothing to do with the politics. It has nothing to do with that side of the subscription stuff. But it does have something to do with ESPN. Apparently, they're thinking that the NFL, when they signed their deal with ESPN, which gave them NFL Red Zone as part of the ESPN networks, and ESPN gave 10% of its company to the NFL. So this was all part of a deal that happened right before the WWE deal got announced. We may have mentioned it a little bit. I don't even know.
I don't remember it.
They're saying that they're kind of wrestling politicking, not being political about things, but politicking, so that if for whatever reason the NFL deal that they spent billions of dollars on isn't working for them, that Jimmy Kimmel can basically get the NFL fired from Disney. So that they can end the agreement early or do whatever because I'm going to be honest with you, the television rights pricing of a bunch of this shit now is fucking ridiculous. The WWE, we talked about it last week. They're making like $6 billion now per year based on all of the different deals they've got. The UFC just signed one with Paramount for $7.7 billion. Don't know if you heard about what that could also possibly affect. So Paramount is now owned by Skydance, right? Well, Paramount is now talking about, get this, the idea of buying Warner Brothers Discovery.
Fucking AEW.
It would negatively affect AEW because Paramount just spent $7.7 billion on another TKO property. So if Paramount Skydance or Skydance Paramount, whatever, I'm calling it Paramount because that's what the app's called right now. For the current terms, if Paramount were to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, it means Tony Khan most likely has to find a new home.
I'd fucking go to Peacock.
I mean, well, so you can't. So let's be real here, Tino. For the next 5 years, AEW can't go to Paramount. They can't go to Peacock.
Can't go to Netflix.
Can't go to Netflix. Can't go to ESPN. Can't do any of them.
I mean, he's got enough money. Can he buy his own? Kind of like what Ring of Honor has their own like kind of app. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but nobody
kind of app.
But that wouldn't make money. It'd be break even.
That fucking sucks. They can't go to Tubi.
No, you can't go to Tubi because Tubi's actually owned by Fox, which is owned by Disney. So you can't go there either, and that's why WWE has programming there too.
I'm trying to think of different.
You could go to the Roku channel. You could go to
the Roku
Amazon.
channel right now. Is doing NWA the Power.
Right.
That's why I've been watching.
But which one would you prefer? Now, granted, I am going to say that the family-friendly product ever since the on camera of that show, ever since that, they've been more family-friendly than AEW. Mm-hmm. But AEW is a better property to own.
Who owns Apple? Could it go to Apple TV?
You could. Apple would be one that you could go to. But think about that. Like that's just another deal that's happening. And by the way, if TNA signs with any of those other companies, they're in bed with TKO as well.
That's what I say. TNA would be okay because they're associated with the TKO umbrella, so I'm sure they could find a place. WWE will take care of them because they're using that as a farm-in. That's like an OVW right now.
I think that TNA, and we've talked about it, and I know that when we actually talk about what's going on the programming and the championships for TNA going to...
I'm so pissed. Yeah, what...
I know what you're saying there, and you know what? I'll just put the NXT banner up while we talk about this really quick. It is still setting TNA up for a better TV deal because right now their stars are on network television.
I'm just worried they're going to do the same thing they did with WCW, right? We're going to have this invasion, and we'll talk about it. We'll have this invasion, and then they're going to fucking eat up TNA, and then they've got these. We already talked about Raise and Star, right? They've got people they're not even using. So they're going to do it like they did with the WCW, and they're just going to hold them, and they can't go into contracts with anybody else. And they're going to have the monopoly again. That's what I'm worried about. And that's what's going to piss me off if that happens. What are you doing?
I'm writing another one. TNA's anger over their titles. We might as well just jump into it.
Yeah.
So last week during NXT Homecoming, there was and NXT Homecoming was excellent, by the way.
Oh my god! It was
better.
It's better than the main shows to me. TNA's fucking not TNA. I'm sorry. NXT's kicking ass.
Well, there's such a different show compared to the other ones, but throughout the show, they were showing TNA wrestlers' tweets.
Yep.
About how they don't like what's happening with the championships and whatever. And I even heard Tommy Dreamer, who works behind the scenes at TNA, saying that he really didn't like that Trick Williams is wearing the championship belt upside down Although he's saying he's turning. He's turning.
Now, do you think these tweets are shoot or work? You think they're feeding into what's going to happen tomorrow night? You know what I mean?
So yes, and we'll talk about the actual NXT stuff here in a minute, but the anger over the titles has to be real, but it is all part of the work. Like, there's no way that Carlos Silva, who's in this agreement with WWE, who's probably being fed money by them, you know, keeping them alive, getting them more talent, whatever the case might be, there's no way he's fully on board with what they're doing with his belts. There's no way. I'm not going to say that they've disparaged the championships at all. It's not like they destroyed them or anything. Trick Williams has been a solid champion for TNA. He's not under contract with them, so he doesn't show up on their program regularly. He doesn't, but you know, they're also not live every week, so you know, he's not going to show up every week unless he's there backstage when they actually record episodes.
Right.
You know, it's a really interesting situation because you know that at some point that belt is going to get back onto the waist of a TNA competitor.
Yes.
Just like when JC Jane lost the women's champion, the Knockouts championship, it went back back home, right? And Ash by Elegance won that title, and that was great because she never won a title in WWE. Which means she's really showing what she's done to change who she is and how she does. You know, because otherwise, I mean, she was just a Maxine, right? But the Trick thing is interesting because now we can go ahead and I'll pull up the results from NXT Homecoming, and we'll talk about it in its entirety instead of just talking about the TNA championships. But Triple H came out, kicked off the show, and he actually said, "Would you guys like me to come back for a night?" And then HBK's music comes on. And HBK comes out and he goes, "Hunter, you know, you're a big part of the history here, but it's my show."
With his bow-legged ass. That's all he was.
It's because he rides horses, man.
I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. I'm like, dude, your legs are fucking.
Hey, the fact that motherfucker could still kick someone a foot taller than him in the face,
yeah,
I wouldn't mess with him.
They started teasing, it's my show, like they were going to fight. You knew that.
Well, yeah, they started getting in each other's faces, and then William Regal's music hit.
Loved it.
And we got our first moment that really, and I loved it because William Regal on live television told the audience to shut up because they were taking his line.
That's my line. I'll say it. He goes. You guys can edit that out. And he goes,
yeah, edit that in post.
War games. He goes, that's so
War games.
That's hilarious because they started screaming war games before he could even go. You know,
would have been even funnier if he made it all the way into the ring, got in their faces, and yelled war games. But okay, but you know that was kind of like Teddy Long coming out on a classic SmackDown episode or whatever, and being like, "We're gonna have us a 6-pack challenge match, player." You know, like, so I totally for it. Although it immediately made me think they should do war games. Not
they probably will.
Well, we know it's going to be at Survivor Series because Triple H loves war games, but I don't know if it's going to be what teams are going to be in it or whatever. But TNA versus NXT War Games would actually be something that would be awesome. And you know, it's the one night of the year that we put our differences aside and work together. You know, that's why suddenly you get Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins working together for War Games when they never worked together. You know, like Frankie Kazarian and Moose would be out there, and you'd have, you know, whoever else you want, like for you know, TNA. So it'd be Mike Santana and Joe Henry. Well, I don't know if it'd be Joe Henry.
TNA against NXT. I don't think they bring a Cody and a Seth down for that.
No, they wouldn't. But I was using that as the example of
Oh,
that's
oh,
the
oh,
night
oh,
of the
oh.
year that you put your differences aside,
I got
and
you.
like suddenly everybody WWE is everybody Raw is babyface, every SmackDown's heel that night, But anyway, we got a nice little opener intro thing. Triple H made his appearance. I thought that was pretty funny. Bleacher Report gave it a C. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss came out to end that segment and immediately got their tag team title match against Izzy, Damon, Tatum, Paxley, who won the week before, which surprised both of us. And the champions held on to their titles. It was fine. It was pretty funny to see Paxley actually excited to see Lyra Valkyria backstage because she's supposed to be heel, but it's like and who made an appearance in that backstage segment, by the way, like with Zarya and Sol Ruka. Do you remember?
My girl Shayna Baszler. And
Shayna Baszler.
It's kind of like, you guys work it out. I'm like, Shayna giving nice, Shayna being nice.
She sounded like a coach.
Yeah.
But Shayna Baszler, the first 2-time NXT Women's Champion, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then we got a banger because we got DIY versus Trick and Mello. But we didn't just do Trick and Mello. We got No One Will Survive, Tommaso Ciampa. And he came out with war paint on his face, black and gold. You thought he was gold dust. I know.
Oh, I'm like, why is he balding? Where's his beard? I forgot he shaved his beard. He
looked
different.
It's because he needed the stitches.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like, he started growing it back, and then they're probably telling him that until the stitches heal, he can't.
Yeah.
But then Johnny Gargano came out to his original
Rebel
theme, and dude, like I rarely get a tear in my eye for professional wrestling, but when those two were the top of the card in NXT, and hearing those two theme songs actually like being the main event in those PLEs that they were doing, it was something else.
That one didn't get me as much as another one got me later on.
Well, Trick and Mello got the win here with the help of Miz.
Yes.
And I thought it was funny because Miz went to hold up both their hands and Trick was just staring at him like, what the fuck you doing? And then he's like looking at Mello like, what the hell is this? Like, yeah. Because they even did that really cool moment where Trick looks like he's getting ready to plow Carmelo, and instead he totally trucks over and takes out Gargano and gets the pin. And who was it? Corey Graves at commentary this week, or was it? No. It was Vic and Booker.
No, was it Barrett?
No, it wasn't Barrett. Barrett didn't come back until the pay-per-view.
It might have been Booker.
So yeah, it must have been Vic Joseph sitting there saying, did he mean to hit it? Was he going for Gargano? And I love those moments because the one guy is completely off camera, so you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great. Shoot, the thing just switched over to Twitter for a minute. But I was telling you, I thought it was really interesting that Gargano ate the pin here, keeping Tommaso Ciampa, who was also a 2-time NXT champion, strong in this. And they broke out like the moves and everything, like like they did all that stuff. Willow's Bell, like everything, like the setups, everything. It was just, this was one of those moments where it's like, this is great. And I don't know if you saw, but Karrion Kross actually had tweeted out earlier in the day that NXT Homecoming was going to be something special, and it made the internet start thinking Karrion Kross is back in NXT. And then he had to reply to one of those people and say, no, just giving credit where due. This is why I have the lifestyle I have at this point, and they're going to put on a banger. So like just to end that. Though there was something that happened this week with him that I don't know if we'll even be able to get into. At one of the smaller shows. But Bleacher Report gave this match an A-, and I think that might even be shortchanging it, because with the entrances and everything else, I thought that this match was just something special. It's still kind of wild seeing the TNA title in a WWE ring. Yep, I agree with that. Then we got another homecoming of sorts, because we had Ethan Page versus Tyler Breeze.
Tyler.
And I'm going to tell you, Tino, I heard this, so I'm stealing it. I don't remember who I heard it from. It was the best advertisement for Tyler Breeze's wrestling school that you could possibly have, because that motherfucker hadn't missed a step.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Like, and the fact that it had been, 5 years since he'd been on WWE TV? Like, Fandango came back before he did.
And I don't know if it was on this, but I was watching something and they were saying how they were showing all like the wrestlers now, and then their schools that they had. They had Seth's school, and then they had Booker's school, and then I don't know if it was NXT or not.
No. What they showed this awesome video package at the beginning of NXT though, and the awesome video package even included James Storm. I don't know if you noticed that, which is pretty wild. But Tyler Breeze hadn't skipped a beat. They show what's his face out in the crowd. Dr. Wagner Jr. They kept showing Dr. Wagner Jr. in the crowd. And Page won with the twisted grin.
Yeah, because then Page going for the title, Dr. Wagner's title.
He's going to go after the Latin American Championship.
Yeah.
So then we got the Grayson Waller effect, and I think this is where things started to really go awkward, because we had Ricky Saints and Oba Femi sitting next to each other having a decent conversation about like what's going to happen, although Grayson Waller really doing what he's so good at doing, which is just poking him. Just poking him, Tino. Making him angry. But then what happened?
It all runs together. Somebody ran out. Somebody came out. I don't remember who it was.
Well, it sets up this week's match. Trick Williams.
Oh, Trick came out. That's right.
The Trick and A champion.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night on NXT television now. Sorry, folks, I haven't even been paying attention to the comments. So, Tino, if you want to pay attention to the comments a little more.
Oh, I've been reading. Yeah, I've been reading.
Okay. Title for title. The TNA champion versus the NXT champion. Title for title. Even though Trick Williams apparently said that TNA's rule is you don't have to defend that championship for 60 days. And now he's being forced to defend it on NXT television rather than even on TNA television.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, after the show went off the air, I just want to point this out ahead of time. Apparently, when the show went off the air, Tommy Dreamer got a phone call from one Carlos Silva and said, "Did you know anything about this?" And I don't know if Tommy's playing it kayfabing us or what, but he legitimately said the only answer I could give my boss was no. I knew nothing about it.
Oh shit.
So maybe, like I would assume that they can't make matches for the TNA championship on NXT television without their approval. But they're playing it close to the ear, saying they didn't have anything to do with it. So and this is where, tomorrow night you and I think that we're going to have a massive run-in of TNA talent. And I wouldn't even be surprised if this match ends with someone running off with the TNA championship belt.
Oh. Interesting.
I mean, like, otherwise, it's, like, yes, Trick is the champion, but he's holding it hostage. And TNA has a little fun match that they do from time to time, Tino. You might have heard of it. It's called Ultimate X. And I could see 6 guys, 5 of them being TNA competitors versus Trick Williams in that match. So it's a 5-on-1 chance to get that belt back into TNA hands. And tell me that's not awesome booking.
Yeah, but they won't do it.
Or will they?
No. Next.
All right. Next up, Fatal Influence versus Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria, who was taking the place of Tiffany Stratton, who apparently had been injured after the events of Nia Jax on Friday night. Now, I am going to say that I do think that that's true. I think that's real. I think Tiffany did get hurt. I don't know what she suffered. It might have been a mild concussion. That's kind of what backstage is saying. But she's supposed to be good to go by this Friday night because they're having the triple threat match this Friday night. But if you notice, they went an entire rest of the week. Tiffany did show up, but she wasn't competing. And if you notice, they also didn't let her get physical with either of the other 2 women.
Yep.
So this match,
it went like you would expect it.
Yes and no. And the reason why is because the 3 people from the main roster hadn't worked together. So the fact that they got the win, we say yes, it kind of happened the way that it should have because they're all main event talent. But at the same time, and also because Fatal Influence has kind of fallen apart at the seams. But otherwise, you would think that the cohesive group would have been able to sneak out a victory. So totally okay with how it happened. Totally okay with what the end result was. But if this had been a month ago before all the problems with Fatal Influence had happened, I would have thought that Fatal Influence should have gone over.
Okay.
Dastardly tactics, but go over.
Yeah.
Match got a B-. Obviously, I mean, like when you've got Mommy, Vakur, and Valkyria in there, they are 3 of the top women in the WWE right now, although Lyra's kind of fallen back by the wayside in that Bayley storyline. The vintage DIY, they just, like, right at the end of the whole thing where they're saying what the whole show was worth, they gave it a B+. The nostalgia factor really put it over the top for me. Kind of like when they did from the ECW arena, the 2300 arena, like even using the ECW theme and everything. Like NXT knows how to do it, man. They do it right. All right, you want to talk about AEW first?
Okay.
All right, then I'll put this up. I do have some of them still listed from last week. We did not watch the entire pay-per-view. We didn't know that we had access to the pay-per-view. So we turned it on, and what match were we already up to? We were on the Darby versus Moxley match by the time we got there. So we're going to go through the results, and we're going to give our opinions on what happened. So I'm not going to go through the 0 hour stuff. Although Daniel Garcia now with the Death Riders beat Shibata. Just want to point that out.
Okay.
Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Hologram versus the Frat House. Hologram, O'Reilly, and Strong won, which is kind of surprising because they've been using them as jobber bait for a while now. Nightingale, Amanada, Shirakawa, and Cameron won their 8-woman tag match. All right. Show opens.
Okay, good.
Show opens with Christian Cage and Cope versus FTR.
We missed it.
The match?
Yeah, we missed the match. I would have loved to see that match.
Yes, and that behind the scenes, Cope like two of the people that made sure that he was ready for his comeback in professional wrestling were Dax and Cash. So I know that they're gonna do everything they can to make them look good. Cage and Cope were shown backstage walking and ran into Trailer Park Boys apparently. Dax the Axe. What's that?
Who's the Trailer Park Boys?
That's a TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not wrestlers. Though they probably want to now. Cage spent some time taking damage. FTR preventing him to make the tag, of course. After surviving a shatter machine, Copeland was able to get the win with a spear, while Cage held Harwood back from breaking up the pin. So kind of what you expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it got nuts because Copeland got handcuffed to the ring ropes. Cage got beat down. And then we got a Glamazon running down. And like you told me, she gave her husband a kiss and then turned around and proceeded to attempt to beat the shit out of the other two before getting one of the most devastating spike pile drivers I have ever seen.
Oh, you saw it?
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, no, I hadn't
I'm going
seen
to put
it
it
yet.
this way. Cash went up to the top. Dax has her up. Ready? Dax jumps and pile drives her as his arms come down and flatten her. Dude, incredible. Incredible.
She's not hurt.
What's that? Yeah, I
Hope
hope she's not either. Then they go to Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill. I didn't even know Eddie Kingston was back.
I told you that. I told you Big Bill was
Collision.
He's running out of shit. He's like, I got one more person that I want to prove. And he said he's the toughest guy in New York. I'm like, Taz ain't coming out of retirement. And then he said Eddie Kingston. Oh, yep, that'll do it. I'm glad. Yeah. I like Eddie Kingston. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's back too.
Except I have to say once again, he is right there in the Mark Briscoe rung of talent. Like you can put him in top tier stuff, but to move them above the needle, you're never going to make him the world champion, which is unfortunate. I did like his shirt, the Claudio sucks egg.
I think Eddie will go before Briscoe because Eddie's over, dude.
Eddie is over.
Eddie will go first.
And it was the match was clunky from what I read. It was his first match back though, so makes sense as to why it was clunky. MJF versus Mark Briscoe, tables and tacks. They did that awesome spot where they pour the tacks into someone's mouth. Totally unnecessary. But as you told me, Mark Briscoe hit a move that he hadn't hit yet in AEW.
He's hit it once. He's hit it one other time.
Oh, when he won the Ring of Honor World Title?
I think so. Yeah.
So he hits the J Driller on MJF and gets the victory. Now I am going to point out this match happened at like 5:00 in the afternoon, right? Toronto time. MJF was wrestling in CMLL wearing a Homelander outfit at 1:30 in the morning the night before, or that same day. So like 14 hours later, he had to be in Toronto having another match.
Wow.
And it's funny because like the whole year that MJF built up to become the world champion, He only had like 12 matches. But when they want to use him and he does this, it shows exactly what kind of talent he really is.
Yeah.
And good on Mark Briscoe for getting the win, because this feels like a feel-good win on top of being a disgustingly bloody match. Hurt Syndicate versus The Demand. That's what they're calling them? The Demand?
I guess. I don't know. I didn't hear that one.
Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. You told me who won this match.
Ricochet pinned MVP.
Well, and you and I were specifically talking about when you have a match like this, who's the pinnable person? Like,
Had to be MVP. It had to be MVP.
Absolutely. And I started saying to you, wouldn't it be interesting if Shelton and Bobby actually think twice about wanting MVP wrestling with them going forward? Ricochet's new group is called The Demand. It took way too long to come up with a name for this trio. Mercedes Moné versus Riho. We can go to the next match. Though I am going to say on record, they finally got the placement of the match correctly. The secondary women's title went on before the main women's title. Okada versus Takeshita versus Dorada. Man, that's a lot of ahs at the end of names.
Shit.
Bleacher Report gave it an A-. I didn't see the match. Okada wins just like I said he would. Said it was too early for him to lose that new Intercontinental Championship. Don Callis said sometimes 1 + 1 = 6, and Taz no selling the line was hilarious. That's kind of like how so folks, Tino and me watching wrestling programming.
Oh God.
Is him and me from time to time just trying to pop the other one with some of the dumbest lines we can possibly think of, and I don't have any off the top of my head, but it definitely happens. And there was one this weekend where I said it, and Tino was like, he's like, I wanted to no sell this, and I can't.
Yeah, it's probably like 1 out of the 10. You finally got me.
Well, yeah, you do the same shit to me.
I just look at him like.
Then we got to Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley in a coffin match. And Tino, I want to take a minute on this one. Why bring Darby Allin back, try to make him look super strong against Moxley, and then have him lose the match against him for almost no reason whatsoever?
Oh, he got his ass back.
Yes, but
why are they still trying to show attempted murder on television?
And by the way, folks, it's not just us saying attempted murder. The crowd was chanting, and I quote, "This is murder, dun, 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 dun. This is murder." And yeah, it damn well could have been the way that Pac threw Darby Allin out of the ring, making his return, looking like a miniature, like almost a mini-me version of Timothy Thatcher with his new haircut. I just don't get it. What's the point of having Moxley win this match?
That wasn't the murder part. The murder part is where Daniel Bryan slipped in that bag and he went back in the ring and took a plastic bag out of the bag and put it on Moxley's head. That's when they started hollering, "This is murder."
Yeah, after Danielson promised he wouldn't get involved in the match. But what is the reason of having Moxley win?
I don't know. I think Tony thinks that he's his only guy, I guess.
Well, I'm going to say right now, like, even with what Darby did later in the night, he still looks weaker for losing this match.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to tell me it's because you can't truly believe that a 140-pound guy is going to beat a 230-pound Jon Moxley, and I would agree with that. But this is the world of professional wrestling, which you constantly tell me that I need to suspend disbelief in those ways so that I can believe that Darby Allin can win these matches. And when I finally put the belief in Darby Allin, what fucking happened? The motherfucker lost. They put him in a fucking body bag and a coffin, which, by the way, that coffin was not closed.
Well, they couldn't close.
Right. But it didn't. It still had air.
Shut up. The lid, it was close enough, apparently.
Should have rolled another one out there.
You said there was another one out there. I didn't see
There
it.
was, but that was the one that Pac ended up sending him through when he powerbombed him.
Oh, yeah, he did. He powerbombed the shit out of that motherfucker.
or razor edged him.
He tried to kill that son of a bitch. That was funny.
He really did. Although I think that what was supposed to happen was he was supposed to send him through that table that said this isn't over till you're in the ground. I think he was supposed to send him through that table, and that table.
Oh.
Let's see. Okay. After the match, and it was probably even later in the night because I think we had the women's title match and the tag team title match before this happened. But later in the night, Moxley, Pac, Claudio, bitch ass Wheeler Yuta, and Marina are all like celebrating, and they're like, "He ain't getting out of this, he ain't getting out of here," blah blah blah, and Moxley sends them all away. And Tino and I had a moment watching this because this is one of those, well, how did he get out of that? He went like this. Darby Allin sets Jon Moxley on fire in the sleekest, skimpiest body bag I have ever seen, to where you could hear Moxley like audibly screaming out, and there were holes in the bag from the fire. But here's where it got funny for me. I sat there and said, Tino, once again, professional wrestling, I got to try to suspend disbelief. But here's my problem in these moments. The cameraman is right there watching this.
I agree. I had to. I'm like, he's like, oh, that's above my pay grade. Fuck it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
You know what? Maybe it was the cameraman that Moxley choked.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny if the cameraman said, "That'll teach you some bitch."
But we know that's not going to happen because Moxley is legitimately being sued by him.
But if they'd have had something like that, that shit would have been hilarious.
And I say this, that is one of the things about professional wrestling that always, like, it's hard for me to suspend the disbelief, is why is the cameraman there? And they're like, where are they? Where are they fighting? The motherfucker's right there. He knows where they are. He's got a phone. He can call.
That is hilarious.
Next matchup. So we're hoping this means Moxley is going to come back as a scarred zombie or some shit, because obviously he'll be back on TV on Wednesday. Not like he's going to take a fucking break. Right. Tony Storm versus Tekla versus Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander. And Tino, you nailed it.
I did.
Well,
almost.
Go ahead and say it.
No, almost. Remember last week we were on the show.
Yep.
I said that Statler.
Okay, Foghorn Leghorn. I
called stat for the win, but I thought it was going to be due to outside interference from the Death Riders. And at first, Shaggy the Dog was up there, but she made him go away.
The Irish setter. Yes. She said, "Fuck you, Wheeler," just like everybody else in the crowd did. And he got off the thing and hopped down and then left. Wouldn't it have been funny if she actually said, "Fuck you, Wheeler"?
Yeah, because then the whole crowd would have started, "Fuck you, Wheeler,"
or "Fuck you, Yuta," or whatever. Either one, but yeah. But Statlander hits her finisher, wins the match, and suddenly the women's division in AEW is a lot more interesting.
I love it.
I do too, but I'm worried.
Uh-oh, why?
Well, your secondary champion has already beaten the new current champion. I believe other people like Willow Nightingale have already beaten the current women's world champion.
I think that's going to bring another Nightingale Statlander. I want to say feud, but I think they're gonna fight over that belt.
Well, you know what? I'd be okay with that, and I'd be okay with it even if it went like 6 months, where the belt either doesn't change hands or changes back and forth between the two, as long as they develop a fucking story. Like that Mercedes Moné versus Riho match was bullshit. I didn't even watch the match, and I know it's bullshit because what did we say 2 weeks ago? We said we know who's winning that match.
Yeah, and I hate that. I hate when they give us matches like that. You and I both have said that, right?
And this is WWE and AEW. This is all professional wrestling. If you give me a match that I can't sit there, like Wrestlepalooza, the biggest problem with most of the matches were they were predictable, except for the first match. Because nobody saw that coming.
At all.
Except, I think I called it. But we're not there yet. Toni Storm walked out looking like a 78-year-old woman after this match was over. She kind of like... And Harley Cameron came down and gave Statlander her props. And anytime I get to see Harley Cameron, I'm totally fine with it. Tekla's just another run-of-the-mill female wrestler that they're like, oh, we spent all this money on her, and what are we going to do with her? The conglomeration after this match, actually, or before this match, teased the return of someone who just doesn't care. Not that we don't care. We love him. But he doesn't care. Whatever. From wherever. Orange Cassidy got teased.
Yeah, what was his t-shirt? He said, I don't have a catchphrase.
I don't have a catchphrase, yeah. My biggest issue with this, and this goes way back to when our buddy Jason, orthopedic Skechers guy, Blitzwing. No, not Blitzwing. I forget what his name is on his show. Anyways, where he sat there and said Kyle O'Reilly is one of the best 5 wrestlers in the industry. And at the time, he was one of the top 5 wrestlers in the entire industry. And I sat there and said the other night to you, how bad does Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong feel right now knowing that they're in a jobbing group when they were the hottest thing in professional wrestling before they left WWE?
Yeah.
Now, I will admit they were breaking them up because they put Roddy with Diamond Mind and all that stuff because they were going to the 2.0 and whatever. But if they had lasted another year in WWE imagine where those two guys would be today, being part of the Undisputed Era again. Same thing with Adam Cole. Like, and we constantly talk about the injuries and everything like that happen in AEW, and we're going to talk about one that we still don't think the guy's gotten up from the floor in a minute. And I'm sorry I'm taking longer than I wanted to with all this, but those two guys, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, are mat technicians, and they're wasted in AEW. Hell, Kyle O'Reilly looks wasted in AEW. Like all those facial expressions and everything. Like I'm glad seeing that he actually has some character now.
I think
because I used to say he looked like he ran into a parked car.
And I think that's what he's trying to show. He's trying to have personality, but sometimes I'm like, dude, you're overdoing it.
And he really overdoes it. So, anyways, then we get to that next match that I was talking about. I don't know if I've got it up here on this. I don't, so we're just gonna have to put this back up. Brodito versus the Young Bucks versus the Don Callis family versus. We needed a team that could lose this match if they were being pinned.
Because you're like, what are they doing? I'm like, dude, it's Jet Speed. You're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is, and we both start laughing.
Well, when the music hit for them, and I sat there and I said, Tino, they're not even wearing the same gear tonight. We had the One Punch Man, Kevin Knight, and we had Mike Bailey being what he always is. Although I did say that Kevin Knight, in the second best outfit since the Newports.
Ronald McDonald, baby.
Ronald McDonald. Same colors and everything. He came down to the ring going, ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Shut up.
So anyway, yeah, you started laughing. You actually want to laugh at that. You're trying not to.
No.
This match, I flat out told you as it started after I saw who all the teams were. I flat out said to you, I was like, Brodito's not losing this yet. They're not.
Ah.
And this wasn't one of the matches that we actually like projected and gave our idea of who was going to win because we didn't know what the match was because they hadn't announced it. Because that's what Tony Khan does. He makes a 12-hour pay-per-view. So, it really is. This match, Tino, was the epitome of the car crash.
It's what it was supposed to be.
It was, and it's what teams like the Young Bucks their entire career have excelled with, and you can't take that away from them. It literally is what they excel at doing. Is a match like this. Guys like Brody King, they're built for matches like this because their body can take that punishment. I don't think he's great at climbing the ladder, but we got a great spot where Brody King actually was holding up Bandito and trying to grab the belts without even using a ladder. That's how big Brody King was.
Awesome.
It was. And then they kicked Bandito off of him because it was the Young Bucks on top of the ladder. And then Brody King just pushed the ladder outside of the, over, and they went flying the way that they always do. One of the Jacksons had a really cool move where when the same type of thing happened, he landed on the top rope and then did a suicide dive after that, which was pretty awesome. But then we got the weird Mike Bailey spot where Hesegero or Hesejingo or whatever his name is from CMLL was standing, and Bailey did this weird. He did like a somersault to land on the ladder through the guy, and his leg looked like it went.
He broke it. I could have sworn he broke that thing, dude.
But he got up and he had another spot. Like, he went all the way to the corner, climbed up on the ropes again, and then Brody King made him think twice.
I was amazed.
We both thought he was. We both didn't think he was walking after that, and somehow he did. But then Brody King took the brunt of all of the punishment, and yet I still don't think Mike Bailey has gotten up. And you know what's going to happen is he's going to lose a match on Wednesday.
Shut up. Shut up.
He's going to have the neck brace on, and he's
Dumbass.
Brodito wins this match, but that you know what? Couldn't be the best thing that happens during this match. Oh no, can't have the champions win when the Young Bucks are involved. What happens?
What did happen?
Oh.
No, he didn't come out to that. He came out, he made his return, obviously, and he tried to jump them. They got the better of him, and then he just started grinning because they had him in the ropes, and then the lights go off, and then they show this vignette of him. I guess he went and dug up somebody and put him on the table and brought him back to life, and it was Luchasaurus. Now, he got in the ring, he cleared the Young Bucks, he still had the belt that said Kill Switch, because you're like, it's Luchasaurus. I'm like, no, it's Kill Switch. And what'd he do? He ripped that bitch off and threw it into the crowd.
You know what would have been an even better idea here? Would have been if he was wrestling under both monikers for a while, wearing the black mask as Kill Switch, wearing the green mask as Luchasaurus, having two completely different runs. One a good guy, one a bad guy. Would have been so much better. Or, hear me out here, Tino. Maybe if you're going to restart his heart and dig him up, maybe don't have him come back 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kind of fucked it up.
And they fucked up the continuum of the show, yeah.
And so if you had done it where Luchasaurus was a different character than Kill Switch, and we just don't know because we've never seen Under the Mask, okay. I can suspend that disbelief. I can actually go, guy gets 2 paychecks now. Good for him. One guy's a bad guy, one guy's a good guy. I'm cool with that too. Does this put Jack Perry with Sabian and whatever, or is Luchasaurus now no longer with them at all?
I think he's probably going to not be with them at all. I think they're going to go back to the Luchasaurus.
Well, it probably means that they're going to feud with them. Although the Cage Cope, all that stuff was, also had them involved. Yeah. So who knows? It's fucking weird. It's not a good cohesive story. But again, like I said, you can't just have the champions win the match if the Young Bucks are involved. The Young Bucks have to have something else happen that involves them. And that's what we got here. Bleacher Report gave that match an A-, by the way. And then we got Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page for the World Heavyweight Championship.
And Taz kind of went off on a tangent on this one too, because they were like, the fans were saying he's not ready, and Taz like, I'm tired of this. He's not ready. Shit, he's in the main event. He's ready. And I'm like, oh fuck. Taz lost his shit for a second.
Well, if you watched Wednesday night, that was one of the things that Kyle Fletcher said. He said, I don't want the family there. I don't want help. I want to show you that I am better than you, that I am going to beat you, and that I am ready for this moment. And it was that was a great coming out moment. This was a great coming out party.
Yeah.
Kyle Fletcher went pillar to post with the best in AEW. Did not have anybody get involved in the match, which, by the way, I just want to point out, even Hangman had someone get involved in his winning match against Moxley. 2 people. But he got a little overexcited, a little overzealous, and loses the match after the table outside the ring, I flat out sat there and said, no matter what, this isn't going to be Kyle Fletcher getting one up on him. This is going to be the dead eye outside the ring, blah, 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 whatever. Happens that way. And I immediately said to you, Hangman's going to blow out both of his knees by the time he's 30, 35, whatever. I don't know how old he is. So, like,
it up, he will.
And he does that spot multiple times a year. Hell of a match. This right here, I mean, Kyle Fletcher actually brought out moves from AJ Styles, brought out moves from Will Ospreay, brought out basically he went to the well. And you know, Cope did the same thing earlier in the night, you know, giving homage to John Cena. But here he was using the hidden blade, and he was using different moves that he tried to go for the Tiger Driver 93 or whatever the hell it's called. That I guess it's just a move in a video game, and that's why it's got the 93 after it. I don't know. But he tried to go for it, didn't hit it. And in probably the worst camera angle of the night, and it wasn't because it was actually a bad camera angle, but the way that Hangman won, they used that wide camera angle, like almost top-down camera angle. So when he hit the buckshot lariat, both of us thought there's no way that's going to end the match. And yet it's the only time he hit the buckshot the entire night. So it was 1, 2, 3, lights out, match is over, and we're done. Is Kyle Fletcher a future world champion? And not Ring of Honor. I don't want to hear any of that bullshit.
Every time I say, you're like, no, but he'd be a good Ring of Honor. So I just stop. I stop. Because every person I say, you say,
he'd be a great Ring of Honor world champion, but that doesn't make him a world champion when you're talking the top 2 divisions.
I think Kyle Fletcher can be a world champion. I think I think Briscoe's got I think Briscoe, but you're like, no, they're Ring of Honor. They're not.
Well, I want to say this. I did read today on one of the dirt sheets where they said that, and actually it wasn't even a dirt sheet, it was Forbes. Forbes magazine actually said they don't know who is next lined up for Hangman, so wouldn't it be interesting if they go with Briscoe, who just beat MJF? If you do that, however, I think MJF cashes in and you get your 3-way dance.
He's got to have a 7-day head start. So you say, so he'll announce it.
If Briscoe gets the match, then he announces that he wants in that match.
Yeah.
So that's how I see that happening. But you're right. You're right with the 7-day stipulation, which is bullshit. It really shows that you're all about ratings when you have to announce something like that, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, Wrestlepalooza. You ready?
Yeah, we got about 30 minutes. Let's do this.
Oh, we should be able to get through this pretty easy. First matchup, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. If we wanted to talk about a match that we thought was going to go one way that probably went a different way, this would be it.
I don't like that they didn't have a build-up for really for this match. And they let Brock go through and beat all these people and F, you know, R-Truth and everybody. And
well, that's because Cena's not showing up.
Yeah, so you think when Cena show up, he'd win, but nope, they let him and Brock squashed him.
It wasn't exactly a squash, but it was damn near a squash. So I'll hand you that one. I agree. You know what though? This is kind of doing the favors for the person that's going to be around.
Brock's not going to be around.
He's going to be around longer than Cena. He's just not going to be around often.
I still say it's shit.
Well, I think what it actually did, and I said this to you that night, I said, I think this sets up Cena feeling like something's missing. He's not there, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we start getting some tweets and stuff from him that sit there and say that, you know, he's gotta reach deep down and he's gotta beat Brock one more time and they make that his final match. Though I would have loved to have seen Cena versus Gunther, and Gunther actually retiring him. But I think that's where they're going with it. Is they're going to give Cena and Brock another match, especially with this PLE deal with ESPN. And I don't know if you saw what ESPN said about the PLE. Their own personal review of it was that the women's title match is the only thing that made this thing worth watching. On ESPN's website. I don't know who wrote it.
Fuck.
Welcome to $325 million a year, right? I mean, let's be real. When we talk about Wrestlepalooza, we do have to say that WWE stated that there were going to be a lot of surprises,
And they weren't.
I don't remember one.
Undertaker, but
That wasn't even a surprise.
yeah.
Like, he's been showing up at it. You know what was a surprise about the Undertaker was that he dyed his beard. Because the last time we saw him when he was at AAA, he had white, like the entire beard was white. And then he gave like one of the weirdest promo things. Yeah. I'm getting there. Going back to Brock versus Cena.
I gotta tell you, going on a tangent. Like, no, let's not.
Six F5s. And I told you they get to write Brock off TV for a while because he gave one to the referee as well. So when he put his hands on the official, he's indefinitely suspended till they want to bring him back.
Till the next PLE.
What's that?
Till the next PLE.
Well, and it is possible that they bring him back for Perth. It's very possible that he shows up tonight in Raleigh.
What did Turner say after what heard today? Brock not happy with WWE LBGTQ. Brock said he might leave now. What? What is that?
After what heard today, Brock not happy with WWE. I don't know.
Michael, elaborate.
Yes, Michael, you're going to have to like tell us something about this. Brock Lesnar, WWE LGBTQA.
There's no A.
Yeah, there is. LGBTQA +.
Don't joke on that. You can get us kicked off.
This isn't a joke.
Oh, okay.
It's lesbian, gay, bi, trans, questionable, androgynous, and then the question mark, which is you're not sure.
Did you find anything?
No.
Yeah, Michael, if you're still there, what did you hear? We can't find it.
We're not gonna post it up on the only thing I can see is that at one point they pitched Brock Lesnar as a gay character way back.
No.
So I'm gonna go back to what we were talking about.
So Brock Cena, yeah, whatever. What's next?
Whoa! What happened to my screen?
I don't know. What happened to your screen?
Oh, but you can't see me right now, right?
Dude, I'm gonna hang up.
I'm not even joking. If this isn't a John Cena thing, my screen actually just my entire computer shut down.
Yeah, I can hear you, but your screen is black.
Well, let's see if I can get one of my cameras working.
There you go.
There we go. Literally everything just went black.
I thought you were trying to be funny because you had Cena on the screen. You can't see me now. I will literally end this call.
Worked out very well for that, but no. So they did this whole moment at the beginning of this match where Cena was seen coming out with like 100 Make-A-Wish kids. And it might not even been Make-A-Wish kids. I'm only kidding about that. But 100 kids wearing the Cena gear and all really super excited. And the match ended with them showing randomly those kids in the audience crying.
It was so fucked up.
I mean, that is a classic Vince move, though, and it's not even Vince. So I'm gonna give Pritchard the credit for that one. Next match up was the Usos versus the Braun.
Braun.
And I told you the Braun needed a win.
And I thought they got that win Friday night on SmackDown. So I'm like, hey, we get the Usos. But no.
No, they got, and I don't know if the end was how they originally planned for it. Because Jey Uso hit Braun Breaker with that steel chair and took a shot to the head, and he was not the same after that.
I think he concussed himself.
I think you might be right.
And that was what Shavar texted us. I guess what's his name to break stuff down? Stevie Richards broke that down and how he got hurt. So when we get off here, I'm gonna watch that video. You know how Stevie does his breakdown.
Yeah. Oh well, it was exactly what I said. When he hit him, the second one, he hit him high on the back, and the chair came right back up and caught him like right here. So it was exactly what I told you, because we even backed it up and tried to watch it again. Which, if you're using the app and casting it to your TV, does not work very well. But if you're doing it from the actual app, it's fine. But the app on Google TV is garbage for ESPN. Speaking of that, Tino, fucking commercial breaks. I'm paying $30 a month for this bullshit, and you give me 4-minute commercial breaks after every goddamn match?
I'm not. That's why I'm not paying for it. Refuse.
I mean, you see how hot I am. I'm not even playing. This is bullshit. Like, at least have me having Michael Cole talking to me.
I would even like they did on Peacock, where they would actually show at least something
Like
to
a
do
vignette.
with a vignette or commercials, but it's WWE related commercials. I'd be happy. I'd be glad with that. No,
Yeah, there literally
but $30.
Indiana Pacer yellow and blue Wrestlepalooza commercial break thing.
Yep.
So you're telling me you didn't sell any fucking commercials? It's what you're telling me.
Turner said then Raleigh shows next Monday. I thought it was today.
Oh, you know what? It is next Monday because it's 29th. Yeah, I don't know where they are this week.
Yeah.
All right. Also, LA Knight being the referee in this match, didn't really think that mattered too much. Obviously, it allowed them to go a little bit to the extreme. Also allowed.
It was funny because the Braun started to cheat. He was like, no. And then Jimmy got out with the chair, and he looked at him. He goes, yeah. He turned his back and walked away.
Well, okay. Gotta do what you're going to do. But then he allowed everybody to cheat after that.
Yeah.
So, the Brawns looked good. They came out looking like a tag team, which unfortunate, but that's what they are now.
Every faction has to have a tag team, and I guess that's going to be them. Think about it. Every faction has a tag team. Even the Four Horsemen had Arn and Tully.
That is true.
DX had New Age Outlaws.
That's true. You're not wrong.
The original Bloodline had the Usos, so I mean, they all have to have their tag team.
The nice thing about this one is they don't have to add the fourth member because they could actually be a tag team or singles.
Yeah, I think Becky is. Becky's loosely the fourth member, though.
No, and I agree. But it's interesting, and this goes to like how job finding and everything is right now, is the fact that like because they can be singles or a tag team, that they'll keep their job. But you don't have to add another member now because they already have the tag team and the two young singles guys and the classic champion. Like Like you don't have to add the extra person, so they can just go ahead and cancel that job requisition. But now Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. I already told you that ESPN, in their own personal review, said that this excellent match made the PLE worthwhile.
This was a banger. I think, and they are absolutely correct.
Oh,
This
yeah.
for the night.
You want to talk about it?
I expected the Asuka and Kyrie to run that, but they didn't. They left it alone. And this match, I don't know, man. Not only the chemistry, seemed to be flawless. I didn't really see any mistakes.
Well, I felt it started slow, like they were feeling each other out, like two new opponents do. Because this was, as far as I know, besides tag team matches, this was the first time these two had ever actually been in the ring together as singles.
Mm-hmm.
Io. It wasn't Kyrie. Io sold the knee injury the entire match.
Dude, awesome. Even after the loss, when Stephanie was showing her respect and they bowed, and Io bowed, and when she went to stand up, she kind of hobbled and fell back and grabbed the knee again too. So she kept selling it.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that moment of respect is normally like a WrestleMania thing, where it's like, oh, we can set the story aside a little bit if we're actually going to show each other respect. They're both baby faces, so them both allowing that moment, it was going to happen anyway. But what made it super special is you're talking about two totally different wrestling cultures.
And I think that's when she bowed to her. That's what they do.
She did. Yeah, she put the belt down, which is like the lucha thing to do.
Yeah.
But then she actually like gave the bow, which is the Joshi thing to do. So it really was impressive. And I have to admit, the card needed a match like this to play out like this for their first time on ESPN. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we have what everybody wanted to be the match of the night. And I will say, Bleacher Report gave this match Shavar's typing to us. Bleacher Report gave us a B+ rating for the CM Punk AJ Lee versus Seth and Becky match.
Yeah,
and
C+?
B+.
B+.
B+. This was a very slow starting match, but when you're talking about the psychology of pro wrestling, that's exactly what you wanted. You didn't want AJ Lee getting her hands on Becky Lynch until she got her hands on Becky Lynch. And the guy calls himself the best in the world. Seth Rollins calls himself the visionary. They ran this through the gamut, and it was a thing of beauty, Tino.
I thought it was better than a B+. I'm surprised.
I think it was because there wasn't a lot of like
Omega wasn't in it.
well, that would have been stars. That wouldn't have been B+. That would have been 6 stars, 7 stars, 9 stars if Ospreay was in it too. Okada adds another star. This match. So apparently backstage, Becky got all the credit, and I completely agree. She made AJ Lee look like $1 million. They made her look like everything they paid her, and some.
Hey.
And I bet tonight
that was AJ though.
What's up?
You don't think some of that was AJ? I mean, I'm not
No. That's a
genuinely
very
think
good question.
Becky.
And I appreciate you asking that because the way I said it, I'm repeating what I heard. In actuality, I don't think that after 10 years off, you should ever expect someone to perform like that in the ring. She was like a classic band coming out and doing a stadium show. She legitimately played all the hits. She hit one of Becky Lynch's best moves. She took the bumps, and when it came down to it, she got the win with a. This is where I have an issue with a pretty weak-looking widow, whatever they call it, the Black Widow, because Becky's arm was not hurting her at all.
I was thinking about that. So the first time she put it on, she yanked back on it. It almost made me think when she grabbed it, she didn't get it all the way because Becky was like, "Fuck no, that shit hurt," and she tapped out before she can get it locked in. I want to think that's what it was.
Well, I can tell you what Becky Lynch actually said on social media.
Oh,
She said she was able to find the footage, and there was a bee that decided to sting her, so she wasn't tapping out; she was smacking at the bee.
Damn dumb. Fuck that.
And they actually have a bee in the picture, which is awesome.
Stupid.
So Tino, give me your feelings on the match.
I thought, like you said, I thought that Seth and CM Punk played it perfectly. I like that you thought that AJ and Becky were going to start the match, and Becky got in there, and then she tagged out. She's like, "Fuck it." And I was kind of confused. So was this? They never said was this. There's a couple of times where, well, I guess it didn't matter if it was a men faces the men and the women faces the women, because there was time where they weren't tagging it out and they were trying to pin, and I was like, are they legal though?
Well, and we got to the point where they had said that the men were legal, but the men were passed out outside the ring, and then they're actually telling us that the women are legal, and it's like, but they're not.
And that's where I got confused on that.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of the men face the men and the women face the women. But the thing was that the women never got tagged in, so the referee was confused. Whatever, and we just got to where we were going.
So was I.
All right, we're now almost at the 2-hour mark. So we gotta jump into the undisputed WWE Championship match: Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Apparently, I want to go ahead and tell you that the reason why this actually closed the show wasn't what I originally thought, which was, hey, WWE is going to counter AEW programming by putting on the John Cena Brock Lesnar match. Apparently, what's going on backstage is that ESPN actually said that they wanted something like a championship match as the finale, because when you're watching boxing, it's always the championship match that is the main event.
Right.
So take me through this one, Tino.
My memory sucks ass. So Cody came out. Drew came out. I almost was expecting Randy to come out. Right?
Nope, we didn't get any of that.
Randy Orton. The match. It was a basic Cody match. You know what I mean? They followed the same formula that's usually in Cody's matches. It goes back and forth. Cody's in trouble. He's in peril. He's about to get kicked through the announce table again, and all of a sudden he gets this sudden burst of energy, and he moves just in time, and then now he's on top.
Well, now remember, the referee actually got involved at that moment and caused the split second moment so that Cody could recover enough. Cody hits the crossroads, hits for the 1, 2, 3. McIntyre now has an argument as to why he still deserves another championship match, but we're not going to get that at Crown Jewel because we're getting Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship. So it means we get to build up to Drew versus Cody 2 at Survivor Series.
It's almost like they're trying to. Everybody was bitching about Roman holding the belt and being super Roman, right? But when it's Cody, nobody really cares. I like Cody, but Drew got cheated. I think it was time for him to lose that belt.
I agree, except I do want to point out that this was the first championship match main event on one of these pay-per-views or PLEs in a long fucking time where it was legitimately just the challenger and the champion, nothing causing any type of outside interference, and we got an actual victor from it. And I know that like part of my problem is that I've been saying I don't like the other. I want more of this, but then I feel cheated by this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm ready for, and I it's weird to say, but I'm ready for another champion.
Well,
I'm starting to get bored with Cody.
Well, this goes back to everything that I've said over the past couple of weeks, and everybody in the chat can sit there and agree with me on this, is that when you have two world champions on two programs, you can move one around. The perfect thing to do on the very first ESPN PLE would have been to move a championship. You and I talked about this. You said, well, a championship did change hands. And I said, no, a champion was crowned for the women. And you agreed with me.
Yeah.
No championship changed hands. And that when you're wanting to establish and get people involved in pro wrestling, you need the same thing that makes UFC so cool sometimes, which is, oh shit, he broke his leg, he just won the championship. That wasn't expected. Sometimes you need that. Do I think I wanted Kyle Fletcher to be that guy? No. Could I have taken Drew McIntyre as that guy? Fuck yeah.
Okay.
So it's not because it's WWE versus AEW in that moment. It is literally because Drew McIntyre I see as being the world champion. Kyle Fletcher I see as he's probably a year away, and you really got to build him. And by building him, you probably have to have him turn on the entire Don Callis family and take every single one of them down. Because everybody loves the good babyface champion first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's easy to sit there and give someone that heel championship run the first time. King of the Ring, the Diamond Ring, the whatever the whole bullshit is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't surprise me that ESPN gave a subpar review to their first PLE
because it sucked.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that person doesn't have a job anymore, considering they paid $325 million for
so they're going to fire him for being honest? I mean,
maybe move him to something else.
He was being honest, right? He's being what we are all thinking.
I remembered what you actually laughed at that I was talking about. It was my Stephen A. Smith impression, by the way. Because I had sat there and said that they were asking him for his opinion on like the top 5 wrestlers of all time or whatever. And I said, you've been hoodwinked. But I'm not doing it now. I'm not doing the actual impression.
No.
But I said hoodwinked and ballyhooed and like a couple other things. And you were like, fuck you. I can't even not laugh at that. Because I said words that Stephen A. Smith would have actually said. Tino, I I don't think I got anything else. I really don't. I think I'm ready to go. We're right at the 2-hour mark. You were a little bit late tonight.
Dude, I clocked on right at 7. My watch was, because it dings on the hour, and it was like 7 as I clocked in. Shut the fuck up.
I'm kidding. Go ahead and tell everybody how to find you.
Find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on the Insta, SC Tino. You can find me on the TikTok. I am at Tino Andre Music. You can find us on X. We're Potsy and Tino. Facebook, Potsy and Tino Show. We're here each and every week on the Pots and Pans Network. Please like, subscribe, thumbs up, buy our shit. Thanks to Adam's House Cats for all the years of service as letting us use the wrestling song. You can buy it on iTunes for 99 cents. 99.
So I want to also point out that there is a wrestling show locally coming up called Moving Out. It's got some local talent on it. They do know our friends, both Sean Cruz and the All-American Package, JCB. So that one is happening this week. I think tickets start at like $15.
When?
We'd have to look it up. I just remembered it like last minute. But I did want to give them a shout out because they seemed like really cool guys when I met them. They claim it's an all ages program, so you can take the family. But regardless of that, you can follow me on just about all of my socials at Potchak, at Rob Potchak, or at Rob Potsy Potchak, Potsy. And folks, in just a couple weeks, I get to find out whether or not you helped Zor win the award for Best Kids Book from the Ringos. So thank you so much. We will see you next time. We love you. And Tino's obviously on Apple right now. Can't do that if you move over to Android.
Well, I'll keep the MacBook. I'm just Android phone.
Folks, thank you so much. We'll see you next week for episode 426 of the Potsy and Tino Show.
Ready? Ownership machines in the Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino Show.
Thanks for watching.
Monday night, it's time to go. Turn on the screen with the good time shows. Wrestling life and who knows what. If it's cool or weird, they're talking it up. It's the Potsy and Tino Show. Drop the facts and let opinions